Thanks for joining us again today. So we are again joined with Lee at First to Protect, who's one of the insurance companies Your Property Financial works with to help our clients obtain buildings, contents, and landlords insurance. And today we are talking about landlords insurance. So Lee, tell us a little bit about the importance of a landlord or a buy-to-let investor having landlords insurance and how it works.
Yeah, very important, Paul. I would say in terms of certainly in terms of building cover and having the right building cover in place as well. I think it's important that they have a specific landlord policy because of the way the policy works. It is different to a standard home buildings contents policy in a number of ways, and we've seen people go and purchase the wrong product, and it can cause them issues, just when they're going to make a claim, but cause issues, at the end of the day, full stop. And probably some of the subtle differences are around about, the sort of liability cover which is included within the landlord policy. So you've got a tenant at the home, and the liability cover will cover any incidents that would happen, which is if they got injured by cause of the property, then though that liability cover will pay out. And there's other pieces such as like malicious damage cover. So if you had a tenant that decided to trash the property before they left, then you've got malicious damage cover there in place to make sure that gets put right before you move the next tenant in.
Okay, so it's obviously protecting the buildings, and it's then protecting the contents that are within, which maybe white goods or any property that the landlord has provided the tenant.
Yes.
When it comes to, I guess one thing to bear in mind immediately regards buildings or contents is what is the insurance needs to be matching the ownership of the property. So
yes.
What I mean by that is if you've got the buy-to-let in your personal name, then you just have a normal standard landlord's policy. But if it's in a limited company name, the landlord's insurance needs to be in that limited company name, doesn't it?
Absolutely does, yeah, and we're able to facilitate that now as well. I think the market has moved in that direction. We've seen a lot more now limited company buy-to-lets that are being done, and hence we're able to now facilitate that. And if anyone comes to us, they've got a limited company, we're able to set it up in a limited company name for sure. And again, that's something we'll probably potentially get missed if someone was going online.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think I've seen that a few times where we've been helping a client who's been several years into a portfolio, and it's been a bit of a conversation of, well, who's the insurance in the name of, and it's in my name.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's get that updated really quickly, because I'm not sure how that would work out and point a claim, but probably not in a good way.
Yeah.
When it comes to things like the rent guarantees, and I know we touched on home emergency cover and legal cover in the context of if it was your home, but in terms of a landlord, how are they different?
Yeah, I think it's the subtle differences. I guess I think it's just as important when we're talking about home emergency cover, because there's always going to be an incident. I think it takes a lot of the hassle, I suppose. If you're a landlord with one or two properties, and you haven't got a portfolio and a team of people working for you, the hassle of trying to find a tradesman to go and do the necessary work. So if you've got a really good home emergency policy, any issues could happen and get them rectified for the tenant straight away, then that's all really good. Legal cover, similar type of legal cover. Probably the only, again, subtle difference is if they needed to take back possession of the property, then that kind of then aids them to be able to do that. So if you've got someone who's at the property and not leaving for one reason or another, then that can help to facilitate that. And the rent guarantee is, again, something that that we're doing a lot more of now for landlords. Is if there's a tenant of the property and they stop paying for any reason, then the rent guarantee will kick in and start to pay the rent for them. Not necessarily the rent. So if you've got a landlord that has a mortgage on the property, you could set it just for the mortgage payment. So they're not out of pocket ultimately at the end of the day. So it's a really good sort of bolt-in policy to have for landlords at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really quite important, isn't it, with all the kind of risks you consider, and I guess when it comes to the rent guarantees, do you see most landlords taking that nowadays, or do landlords kind of take the chance without it? Because it's not too expensive, really, is it?
It's not really. No, we're seeing more and more actually now start to to take rent guarantee policies. I think there was, now we've come kind of through COVID, etc. Now and we're out the other end, and things, sort of element of normality coming back in. And we're starting to see a lot more now aware of the additional policies which are there, and there's lots more that we're seeing more take up on those now than we did before.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Lee. Well, thank you very much for discussing landlord's insurance with us today. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Peace.